Theorems on Quadrilateral. Theorems on Parallelogram. There are different theorems to prove that a quadrilateral is a parallelogram. You should remember the theorems and memorize them because it is useful in the future lesson called proving. Theorem 1. If a quadrilateral is a parallelogram, then the two pairs of opposite sides are congruent. Theorem 2. If a quadrilateral is a parallelogram, then the two pairs of opposite angles are congruent. Theorem 3. If a quadrilateral is a parallelogram, then the consecutive angles are supplementary. Theorem 4. If a quadrilateral is a parallelogram, then the diagonals bisect each other. Theorem 5. If a quadrilateral is a parallelogram, then the diagonals form two congruent triangles. Theorems on rectangle. Theorem 1. If a parallelogram has right angle, then it has four right angles and the parallelogram is a rectangle. Theorem 2. The diagonals of a rectangle are congruent. Theorems on rhombus. Theorem 3. The diagonals of a rhombus are perpendicular. Theorem 4. Each diagonal of rhombus bisects opposite angles. Midline theorem. The segment that joins the midpoints of two sides of a triangle is parallel to the third side and half as long. Midline theorem of trapezoid. Theorem 6. The median of a trapezoid is parallel to each base and its length is one-half the sum of the lengths of its bases. Theorem 7. The base angles of an isosceles trapezoid are congruent. Theorem 8. Opposite angles of an isosceles trapezoid are supplementary. Theorem 9. The diagonals of an isosceles trapezoid are congruent. Theorems on kite. Theorem 10. In a kite, the perpendicular bisector of at least one diagonal is the other diagonal. Theorem 11. The area of a kite is half the product of the lengths of its diagonal.